November the 23rd, 2023. Guys, I hope everyone out there is having a great and safe Thanksgiving. Watch your highways, watch your roads if you're leaving out after enjoying in friends and family. And it's a great day for that. A lot of people put different emphasis on it, but it's like any of the other holidays. The main thing is the family, right? You know what I mean. Now, this is for you guys along the Gulf Coast. There's been very few information sources coming out about this oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, we're a coastal state, too, here in Mississippi, and I have friends all the way from Florida to Texas that enjoy the Gulf as much as I do, and some of those make their living from it. Now, the Gulf is important to everyone along the coast, but it should be important to everyone in the world. Like I said, you've got humpback whales, different species like that come in there and breed in these warmer waters. It's just, it's one of those, it's like a nursery provided by our Father in heaven for these beautiful animals. But here's what we have. 62,000 barrel Gulf oil spill is the worst since the Deepwater Horizon and the 11th largest in U.S. history. Now, we're going to look at the chart. It's the smallest out of the 11. Deepwater Horizon was the worst, but this is the worst since then. Deepwater Horizon was the last known. We're going to look at some of the numbers there. But it says offshore production from major oil names like Occidental, W&T Offshore, and Talos Energy has been shuttered. This is important, following a spill that Bloomberg is calling the worst in the U.S. since the Deepwater Horizon disaster. That was the BP oil spill. These producers took a significant hit today on Thursday as they stopped approximately 62,000 barrels of daily oil production due to the subsea pipeline rupture. Guys, anybody, can you name a few other pipelines around the world in the last year or so that have had the same problems? Think about it. Now, let me stop here for a moment. I'll pull up some numbers. So there's a shutdown of 62,000 barrels of oil per day. If you do the calculation on it here, you'll see in the gray box, that's 2.604, 2,604,000 U.S. gallons per day have been shut down. Think about that. Continues, it said, these producers took a significant hit on Thursday with that 62,000 barrels of daily oil. The rupture resulted in a substantial oil spill of 26,000 barrels, equivalent to the volume of 2 Olympic swimming pools. This was near Louisiana in the Gulf. Now, Olympic pools, I think they're about 500,000 gallons each. But let's look at 26,000 barrels, and you'll see it's just over the initial estimate of 1.1. I think it's 1.2. We'll do the calculation. Now, I'll back up on that because it's 1,092,000 U.S. gallons is 26,000 barrels of oil. Now, they're saying if the magnitude of the spill is verified, it would mark the most substantial incident of its kind since 2010. That was the BP oil spill, the Deepwater Horizon. It said that led to the release of 3.2 million barrels of oil off the coast of Louisiana. Remember in the video a couple of days ago when we first saw this that I mentioned that some guys I'd met that ran a U.S. Marine survey boat down in Perdido said it's still leaking, so that would be quite a difference in 3.2 million barrels from the point that they said they capped it off and you leak for continued 13 more years. But that 3.2 million barrels of oil, just compare that. You like 26,000 in the spill we're dealing with now. It's the smallest of the ones that are named here, but it's the largest since the 2010 BP. So 3,200,000 barrels, 26,000 barrels. It doesn't compare as far as how much oil, but everywhere that it impacts, coming in as if it follows the predicted path into the Grand Isle area to start with. And depending on the weather and the currents and winds and things like that will determine where it will go from there. Now, this report, citing the U.S. Coast Guard, said other firms impacted by the situation include Walter Oil and Gas Corp., Cantium LLC and Arena Offshore LLC. So I don't know if that's the total, if those are included in the 60-something thousand barrels per day that we're talking about or not. But it seems like there's a lot of effort going on to shut down a lot of U.S. supply. And this statement, I think, that's coming out may be one of the most important. It says these entities are now prohibited from resuming pumping activities until the source of the leak is securely identified and necessary repairs are completed, as outlined by the Coast Guard statement. How long will that take? How long will it take for an approval? They still haven't found the leak. The initial report of the spill came in on, it was last Thursday, a week ago, when Main Pass Oil Gathering Company, the pipeline operator, observed a decrease in pipe pressure. And that's what I was saying in the video 2 days ago, that someone somewhere would know exactly what pipeline it was by the decrease in pressure. It says it remains uncertain whether Main Pass is indeed the origin of the spill, since multiple operators operate in the vicinity. So it's very convenient for everyone that wants to shut it down, because it's shutting down a lot of people. Nevertheless, the Coast Guard has labeled the incident as MPOG 11015 with reference to the company. It says none of the involved companies responded to the request for comment from Bloomberg, though we're sure that many in the PR offices of these large conglomerates aren't quite having the relaxing Thanksgiving break they envision. We don't know if that's true or not. They may not give a damn, at least not about the effect of the oil spill in the Gulf, but they may be a little tight about the money they're going to lose, not only from production, but by the lawsuits that are involved with it. Don't worry, they have Congress wrapped up pretty tightly, all the oil industry does, so we'll see what happens. The main thing now is to find the leak. They have shut down the pipeline that they thought it was coming from, but they've got to find where the leak is. They've got to seal it and get it approved before they can continue with that much production in the Gulf. Again, 62,000 barrels, I think they said. And just as a reminder, that is 2,604,000 U.S. gallons per day that's shut off now. And you've got to add up the other losses. You got some refinery hits, things like that have been happening, and some rigs shut down, pipelines shut down. So it's pretty much coming from all directions right now, guys. Some things are accidental, some things aren't. We're watching this again. Have a safe holiday getting home. And as always, it's a heads up. Everyone be safe.